Hey, Whippersnaps, it's Tortimer the Great. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Minecraft from the TimeShot server. Today we are out at our Ocean Donator Hall Hub base place thing. And I haven't done a ton of work out here since last episode, except that I have now gone through and put up signs for all of the donators. So down here on the bottom section we have, Iron Tier patrons, and then you can see Aaron has said $1 a month, and D Miner $1 a month, and Sked $3 a month, and Jordy $1 a month, and so I'm not going to focus a lot on that kind of stuff, but that kind of stuff is information that people usually put in these sorts of things, so I wanted to make sure I did that here so that people could get recognized for all the levels of support that they're giving, and again, like, gold donators, and then we've got, what Gemma and Klungar and Thunder are supporting with, and then, we'll go over to diamond level and we can see what ECAT is supporting with, and all those sorts of things. Did the same thing up here with the one-time donators. So we can see this is Emerald tier donators. We don't have anybody there, but if we come over here to the Iron tier, then we can see, Iron tier, it's $1 to $25. Aaron has donated, Cal's, Jordy, Nougat, and so on and so forth. And actually, that reminds me, we need to update Jordy's. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So it's what? And then Jordy. And Jordy actually recently, or at least since the last time I recorded a video out here, donated to me a copy of Stardew Valley, which we're going to be doing a fun summer mini-series with, starting next weekend. I think the first episode is going to go out next Saturday, if I remember correctly, next Saturday. So not tomorrow, but the Saturday after that, I think, is when that series is starting up. So thank you so much, Jordy, for that donation. I'm just going to kind of take the value of, if you guys choose to donate games to me on Steam or whatever, I'm just going to, take the value of that game and add it to this one-time donators section. I know a lot of people have, like separate Steam donator rooms, but honestly, I don't really, I don't want to just collect a ton of games. I know a lot of people are getting games that they'll never play either on the channel or themselves, and I don't want to open up and be oh, here's a Steam room, because it seems like people are really open about sending Steam stuff, but I don't want to encourage that a lot, because I really don't need 10,000 games sent to me. But if there's a game out there that sounds interesting, that you think, oh, Tortimer actually really like this one, and you want to send it to me, feel free to do so. But I'm not going to be setting up a separate place for that. It's just I'll take the value of whatever the game. So I think Stardew was $15, so Jordy's now up to 20. And so if Jordy, if in theory, just the way I'm explaining how this works, this is the $1 to $25 tier. So if, say, it's cumulative. So if Jordy donates, $6 in cash, or a game of value greater than $6, then that'll bump him out of the $25 tier, and he'll come over to here. So, ECAT's the only gold tier donator we have. He donated $35 back towards the advent of the channel. And we don't have any donators above him at this point. But yeah, so there we go. We got Jordy in place, and I actually finally ended up getting a hold of Thunder. And Thunder said he wanted his sheep dyed yellow. So there we go. The only donator in the hall that we do not have a color specifically assigned to is Pedro Mato, up in the stream campaign donators. That, for those of you guys who are awesome and generous and donated during my fundraising stream, you're all up in that top layer, and I honestly don't remember. I still haven't done, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of work up here yet. So, ooh, that worked. That's amazing. So I still need to finish up these towers and stuff. Hoping to get that done before the next world download. But it's been a crazy, I just, for those of you guys who've been following my channel, you guys probably saw I was at PAX last weekend, so I spent 4 days at PAX, and a couple of days recovering after PAX, and so it's been a while since and I recorded a bunch of stuff. Most of the stuff that went up was recorded, a week or two before, because I was oh, the week of. I don't want to be worrying about that stuff. But yeah, so all of you guys who donated during my live stream are up here, including Pedro Mato, who I think I have his email from when he donated, so I'll need to get in touch with him. It's not a huge deal, but I've got these like yellow highlighted things on my spreadsheet, like, oh, you need to still follow up with this. And it's like, I want that to go away. So yeah, but as I said, we were at PAX the last week. Yeah, so this is going up this week. So yeah, so last Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of last week, I was at PAX. You guys may have seen the vlogs go up. If you haven't, feel free to check those out. But yeah, so we got to hang out with many members of the TimeShot server. We had a TimeShot meetup, and over half the server was at PAX this year, PAX East this year in Boston. We had now let me stop for a second. So we had Poet, Win, Fabe, Code. We stayed at an apartment with those guys, and then it was me and my brother at the apartment. So there were 6 of us there. But then also there at PAX was Anasia and B-Rees and MK. And I think that's all the TimeShotters were there. Also, we got to hang out with Fultron, a former member of TimeShot. He was there, so that was pretty cool. And lots of other YouTubers and things like that there as well. Fultron's wife, Kate, was there. She is lovely. And yeah, so just we got to meet a lot of people. We got to even meet, you know, some bigger people. Like we ran into Generic B randomly on the street, which was pretty fun when we were all walking back from dinner one night. Just bumped into Jenny, which was cool. And he's the nicest guy in the world, which was very cool. It's nice when like you watch these people for years or whatever. And I generally watch people, you know, as I'm watching them, I feel like, you know, I tend to stick with people who I feel like, you know, these are cool people that I would maybe, you know, be friends with if we ever had the opportunity. And so it's nice to see that, like, yeah, these people are genuine. I didn't get a chance to meet. The only other person that I would have really liked to have met would have been Beef, and Beef was actually there. Vintage Beef was there, and I'm just too much of an introvert tortoise, and I couldn't bring myself to like go bother him and fanboy over it, so I didn't, and I disappointed in myself for not doing that, because I probably won't be able to do another one of these conventions again. And I love watching Beef stuff because he seems like a cool guy that I would actually be friends with. Not like, oh, just like, you know, getting hyped up over the celebrity thing, but just because I think Beef's a cool guy. I would have liked to have said hi at one point. But nope, chickened out, which is too bad, but that's all right. But yeah, I got to meet a lot of cool people, hung out with the GG girls and things like that as well. But with all the cool people that we did end up getting to meet, there was, of course, a lot of people that we didn't get to meet, namely many of the TimeShotters. More than half the server was there, but that meant that just about half the server wasn't, which was upsetting. And you know, we would have loved to have everybody there. And I think it was kind of hard for those of them who were not able to go to kind of watch us all on social media, and they got kind of upset. And so we're going to go take a look at the fruits of that here in a minute. They got a little salty, and they left a prank that's not really so much a prank, but more of a hate crime. And so we'll go take a look at that. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because I think they were salty, and I don't think they like were intending to be mean, but it wasn't funny or like creative. It was just kind of like hateful. So. I sat by, you know what, everyone was at Minecon last year, and of course I wasn't on the server very long at that point, but I get it, it's hard, and you know, for whatever reason that people weren't able to get there, mostly money I think is the biggest thing, and it was expensive. I mean, I only really went, getting to meet the TimeShotters was you know, it was great, and hanging out with Fabe and Code and Poet and Win and Asia and B-Rees and all these people was a lot of fun, and great people. Really did enjoy the time we got to spend together. But my main goal with the trip was honestly, you know, I bought my brother Klungar tickets to PAX, because we wanted to go for years. When I got married, he suggested it as my bachelor party, but unfortunately, you know, we were not plugged into the community enough. By the time we had that thought, like tickets were well sold out months before, and you know, we had a similar thought for him, but like I've just never been plugged into the community enough to really, because like those are gone within like an hour of them, you know, going on sale, basically, it seems like. So this year we got lucky that you know, in the TimeShot group, a lot of people were planning on going, so like when those went for sale, they don't really like let you know when that's going to happen, and so it's kind of like you just kind of have to be ready. And so they happened to get notified, and I actually didn't even get in there, but Poet bought a bunch of extra tickets, and so we bought our passes off of Poet, because you can buy 3 people's worth of passes, I think is what it was. And so I think Poet bought his, and then I bought the other 2 sets off of him for my brother. Fultron visited. Huh? Fultron visited. I was gonna say I wanted to check here to see. That feels like a new sign, but Fultron's obviously not on the server anymore. But yeah, so I mean, largely it was kind of a bonding trip for me and my brother. We'd been wanting to go for years, and this year just happened to work out that we were actually able to get tickets and go. And so it was fun hanging out with Klongar. I invited my younger brother too, but he's not as much of a gamer, and he didn't think that'd be quite his thing. And they're currently saving for a house and everything as well, so it might not have been quite up their alley. But yeah, so it was cool getting to meet everybody. But it was as much fun hanging out with my brother. We got to spend a lot of cool time together. But those time shotters who weren't able to make it got a little upset, and I need to get my axe because we're gonna clean all of this up. The hashtag PAX rejects, which they have dubbed themselves. I don't know. I cleared out my inventory at one point. I don't really have like 3 rows of stuff here, and I honestly don't know what happened to all of it. I put it in a chest somewhere. Hopefully I didn't put it in a chest here, because they may have stolen it when they came through and vandalized my place. But yeah, and honestly, it would have been amazing to meet all of the people on the server. And if we had oh, perfect. Okay, so I tossed it in here. Fantastic. Let's grab all that. We tried not to rub it in too much. I don't think it was our intention. I think once or twice Code and I may have popped into the chat and said something, but not like we weren't like trying to like really, like we weren't being too mean about it. We weren't trying to be mean at all, but just kind of joking with people. But yeah, I think that they got a little salty, both that they couldn't be there, and then they Code and I finally revealed to the world. If you guys didn't see the vlogs last week, Code and I, because we were going to PAX, and we both knew that really there was no way to keep it quiet anymore. Let's see, I want to go. Since we both kind of figured, you know what, there's gonna be so many people there taking pictures, vlogging, doing all this stuff, there's really gonna be no way that we're gonna be able to like keep up our no face reveal thing for forever. And so we were just like, we both kind of leaned into it, and we went ahead and put out vlogs doing our own face reveals and things like that, which then inspired Mara to do her face reveal. So if you guys haven't checked out any of those vlogs, feel free to do so. Yeah, at this point it's down to Jake, I think, to do that. So go put pressure on Jake, I suppose. Apparently he did reveal his face to some of the hashtag PAX rejects, as they have dubbed themselves, those time shotters who were not able to make it to PAX. But he's not going to show it to the rest of us in order to punish us for I don't know what we did exactly besides be able to go to PAX, but okay. But yeah, so yeah, I think everybody is out there, but I don't think Jake is public yet. So you guys will have to hound Jake a little bit to get all the time shotters revealed. But yeah, so all right, so they put these signs all over the place. No tortoises allowed. Code and I finally come out as human, and this is the kind of reception we get, But yeah, PAX rejects, we still love you though. Yeah, sure. Yeah, feeling the love. Finally take that step. Everybody's like, oh, when you get your face, when you get your face. And we finally do it, and both Code and I get nothing but disappointed comments. Oh, you're not really a tortoise. Oh, you're not really a cat. I feel so lied to. I'm so betrayed. And and then we come home, and our dearest friends in the world on the TimeShot server are also honking the hate horns, and we just I wanted to have a fun time with friends, but no. No, I'm kidding. They, it is what it is, and most people were obviously joking. I think there were some people who were legitimately disappointed that we weren't cats or tortoises, but to them, I kind of have to shake my head and be like, well, what? Because I don't think I don't want to burst anybody's bubbles, but I don't think giant humanoid cats and tortoises exist. Like, there are no turtles playing video games currently. Like, I don't want to, like, really bring you down, but and most cats don't have the opposable thumbs necessary for gaming. So I think if people checked their expectations slightly, then maybe the disappointment would have been a little bit less. But yeah, it's called acting. But yeah, so yeah, some people were like, well, now you're gonna have to rebrand and make your Minecraft skin. I'm like, I don't know that that's gonna happen. I don't think generic white guy number 8 is. I think this was my response, but I don't think generic white guy number 8 is gonna sell quite as well. So I think I'm gonna go back to being a liar and be Tortimer, continue being Tortimer the Gray. We'll do that. I think they also vandalized the Turtle Shack, which I guess will be a good defense. Code seems to still bring in the lawsuits and things like that against for whatever reason he like, it's the Turtle Shack. Like, yeah, no cats allowed, no fake tortoises allowed either. So we'll take rid of that one. Pax rejects grief in my bases. The turtle is a lie. Well, technically, I never claimed to be a turtle. I'm a tortoise, which is part of the turtle family, but it's a completely separate genus. Now, what is this? Oh, they even changed blocks. What is this? This tortoise has a goatee because he's a phony human. Well, I mean, technically, folks, technically, if we're being technical, Tortimer has a goatee. So yeah, all right, we'll have to get some spruce wood and fix up the turtle hut. Fiends and deviants just running wild. This is what happens when you know, the adults step away for a minute. Then both the admins were gone, and you know, Grandpappy Tortimer wasn't here to keep people in line, and suddenly things get taken out of hand. So, all right, our place looks more or less put together. So that's good. We'll eat up a little bit here. But yeah, PAX was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlogs. I never vlogged before, so hopefully those were passable enough that you guys were able to enjoy them. Ooh, I need to put this back up. Torts Turtle Shack. Gotta bring those down a line. But yeah, so PAX was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed those vlogs and stuff. As I said, never really done them before, and I didn't have, like, my laptop. I don't have a personal laptop. If you guys will remember, part of the fundraising thing was to get a laptop. We didn't raise quite enough for that in time, and so I don't have a personal laptop that I can use and put editing software and things on. So I took my work laptop because there was a couple things that I couldn't get to do on my phone. I'm sure I could have figured it out if I don't want to spoil that. They left some hate crimes for code as well. But I don't want to spoil that for him, at least. So I can't put editing stuff, and I couldn't figure out how to make, like, I pre-made part of the thumbnails, but then to get the thumbnail portion I had overlay with the other image and things like that on the phone, I couldn't get it figured out. So I brought my work laptop in order to do some of that stuff, and then once I uploaded, so I had to record, edit, and upload from my phone. And so I think they turned out pretty well. I used the YouTube Capture app, which with a little finagling was able to get, you know, what I think are pretty passable vlogs. I don't know. I've never made them before though, so you guys will have to let me know. It looks like they got pretty good reception, but hey Edson, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much vlogging I'm going to do in the future. I mean, PAX was kind of you know, a big thing, and I think most people probably watched for either the PAX content or the face reveal. I don't know how much interest there is in, like, future vlogs, and honestly, my life's not all that interesting. So I don't know what I would even vlog about. Like, I don't know. But hopefully those were good, and hopefully you guys enjoyed them. We had a lot of fun, both, you know, hanging out. I was more, because I'm not used to vlogging, I didn't, like, get all of, like, I got, you know, stopped to get B-roll every once in a while, but, like, even on the first day, like, I didn't even, like, we were doing things, and by the time I realized that I didn't actually record anything, like, of me talking and things like that for the first day, it was like already like I was in bed sort of thing, and I wasn't like gonna get up and Code and Faye were sleeping in the living room, and like, I mean, so there wasn't really a way to like get around that. And so, you know, remembering to vlog during certain things, give you guys updates, get B-roll, that was all kind of foreign to me. I was like, at times just experience things. Like there was times where like in the last day, like there's no other time shutters in that entire vlog. That's not because I didn't hang out with the time shutters, it's because like, well, although I did hang out with them a little less on the Sunday because it was there, we left early, and there was several things that my brother and I still wanted to knock out, and so we were kind of doing that kind of stuff while the other time shutters were just kind of chilling, hanging out sort of thing. But I did get to hang out with them for a bit, which was nice, but like again, none of that's in the vlog, and like, you know, most of the stuff with the other time shutters in the vlogs was even just like, well, we were sitting at dinner when in reality we're spending a lot of time together and things like that. So I don't know, you know, never really vlogged before, so trying to get the hang of it and stuff like that. And I don't think it really matters one way or the other, but hoping that I got at least a semi-decent representation of how things went and that you guys maybe enjoyed that. But ooh, golden chest plate, fantastic. But yeah, so I hope you liked those. I had a lot of fun at PAX. It was fun. The convention itself was pretty, I mean, it was okay, but it was a huge convention, and like most of the cool, there was like a handful of really cool stuff that we had interest in doing, but honestly, like that really cool stuff is almost impossible to get into. And even like there was a couple of days where we like first thing in the morning, up and out and getting in line and things like that. And like, so the VR stuff, you guys, well, the second day vlog or whatever, I showed you guys, we were waiting in line for the VR stuff. I talked about that, and then you guys got to see us do the VR stuff towards the end of the vlog. That's because we didn't get in, we you know, first thing in the morning we get there, but the first time slot for that day we were able to get was like 8 p.m. or whatever, which is another reason like we didn't get to hang out with the time shutters as much that evening, because they all went out to dinner and had, you know, and then went out and got drinks and things like that, and it's like, well, we've got this 8 p.m. VR time slot, and it's like, well, okay, so we're gonna do this, and then we went and got dinner and then went to bed or whatever. Like, so I mean, some of that kind of stuff, it's like you kind of have to choose between like hanging out with people and actually accomplishing things. And so a couple of days we had to like, we're like, well, these are some things that like we like really wanted to do, and there was other things that were like, we're not gonna leave and go take part in that. We missed several panels because like, well, we had a party of 15 at lunch, and so it went over, and so we weren't able to get back in time for some of those things, but we were having fun hanging out, so we didn't bother with it. But like things like the VR stuff is kind of like, that's getting more mainstream, but it's not really something that like you can necessarily just, well, you know, I wanted to hear about this YouTube gaming, or I wanted to go to this YouTube gaming panel or something, but, you know, realistically, I could probably find that information online, and or just watch, I think they had, like, we're streaming all the panels. I'm not sure if all of those are archived somewhere or anything like that, but, you know, those sorts of things, it's like, you could do that somewhere else, but, like, some of that VR stuff, like, you couldn't, and honestly, that was probably some of my favorite stuff of the entire convention, besides just, like, getting to meet people and hang out, like, but of the convention itself, like, I think that we did the Oculus Rift with the Oculus Touch input devices. So my brother wanted to do the Vive. I think I said in the vlog that my brother wanted to do the Vive, which is a newer one. But we were like, even by the time we got up there, even getting there like first thing in the morning to get in line for it and things like that, the Vive was already filled up. We could only get, like, we almost barely didn't even get the Touch Oculus thing. We almost got stuck, like, you could put the Oculus headset on, but you're basically playing video games with an Xbox controller or something, and I didn't want to do that. That wasn't appealing to me at all. I wanted to do the actual, like, input thing. And so we got to do that with the Oculus Touch controls, and that was a lot of fun. We did the Job Simulator, but the Chef edition, and that was amazing. I loved that. It was so much fun. It was so immersive, and I'm sure as they get the haptics better and stuff like that, so you can actually like feel, you know, your interaction with some things, but like it was a totally immersive world. When the guy came to tap me on the shoulder, I'm in the middle of, you know, making, you know, tea and crumpets and stuff like that for an old British guy, and suddenly, like, I'm, you know, being pulled back into the real world. It was really cool. It was really cool. A lot of fun. I'd recommend trying that if you get the chance, but at these convention stuff, like, it was almost impossible to get in there. There was the Sony PlayStation had a couple of VR setups as well, but you had to, like, download their app, and they opened registration for the next day at 9 a.m., and so, like, Klungar and I, my brother, were like, okay, so day 2, we stopped by their booth, because, like, the other VR thing was going to be, we weren't going to be able to get to that till 8 p.m., so we're like, oh, well, let's get in line with this one. We're like, no, you got to download this app and everything. I'm like, okay, well, we'll do that and catch it tomorrow then or whatever. But 9 a.m. rolls around, and like we both are sitting there with the app open, and Klungar's able to get in, but by the time that, you know, I get any slots open, they're full. Like by 9:01 in the morning, it's, you know, completely locked up. Every slot is full, sort of thing. So like, even if you're Johnny on the spot with those sorts of things, your chances are you're gonna miss it. And so it's a little bit difficult. And I know like Fabe and Code and Anasia had really wanted to do the Ark Survival of the Fittest stuff, but they didn't have time to get around to it on Friday or Saturday. They didn't want to wait in the lines, and there was other stuff they wanted to do, so they were like, well, we'll do it on Sunday. But apparently on Sunday, they stopped doing the public tournaments or whatever, and so they were just doing the winners tournaments from the previous 2 days. But they didn't really like advertise that, and so they like, you know, plan like, yeah, we're gonna do it on Sunday. They're all excited, and then they can't even get in there. So like, I'm the only one who came back with one of those little, even one of those Ark little poop plushes or whatever. And I know Anasia and them were really excited coming into it. They put a sign. I actually kind of like a sign being there though, because I always have to punch out this vine. So maybe I'll put a sign back up here. But they were all excited, and Asia was super excited going into it. She wanted to get one of those little raptor statues that they were giving out to the winners and things like that. But then they didn't even end up getting to play, or even one of the, you know, participation poop trophies or whatever. And so I feel bad for them for that. But so yeah, a lot of waiting. There was some pretty cool stuff, but for the most part, it was kind of just waiting. And the most fun of it was hanging out with people. So, you know, I would almost say, like, you know, next time we do one of these sorts of things, let's just not even bother trying to plan around a convention, because yeah, that was fun, but it might, you know, cost way less to like just pick a place, and we'll have like a party at, you know, Poden Wins or something, or I don't know, at some point. It sounds like they might be getting hitched. They're engaged. They're getting hitched at some point. It sounds like the Timeshotters might be invited, so that might be another good opportunity, I guess, to maybe hang out at some point when they figure out when all that's going on. But yeah, it seems like the convention was almost in the way of hanging out sometimes, and then like when you try to prioritize the convention and actually do some of the stuff because you had to prioritize it in order to actually get in anything, then you like had to actually sacrifice, you know, having fun with your friends, sort of thing. And so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Some of the panels were kind of lackluster, but there was definitely a lot of fun stuff to it too. But honestly, and this has nothing to do with even just like my thoughts on PAX. It's just the way life works. It'll probably be the only time I get to do one of these things. I wonder. Let me get this off. Somebody had told me at one point, and I think I mentioned it in the last episode with Puzzy, that somebody had mentioned that hay now negates fall damage, and I don't know if that's 1.10 or this current. We took damage there. I'm assuming that like if I jumped from a tower onto, I mean, it wasn't a very far distance, so I'm assuming if I jumped from a tower or something, I'd still die. But yeah. I think that's going to be it. Thank you so much, Jordy, for your donation of Stardew Valley. We got you updated there. For anybody who's interested in donating to either, you know, through Patreon, you know, monthly supporting, or, you know, one-time donation through PayPal or whatever, if you have a game you think I'd really like. I will note that while I am playing Stardew Valley, Jordy donated Stardew Valley because he heard me talking about potentially wanting to play it. I will say that if you do donate a game, and like I said before, I don't really want to open it up to like, oh, just don't throw all the games at me, because I don't really like, I don't want you guys wasting your money, because there's so many games I have already that I'm not going to be able to play. Because at this point, if I'm not recording it, I'm not playing it for the most part. I don't have lots of free time outside of recording. So, but just as a disclaimer, I want to throw that out there. Just as most of the other Timeshotters have who have received game donations, there is absolutely no guarantee that if you donate a game, I will be playing it on the channel. So don't, like, if you donate a game, please don't have that expectation, because that's not how it's going to work out. There is certainly possible that I might. Like with a game like Stardew Valley, that's a big game right now. I actually really love the look of it. I haven't gotten a chance to actually play it yet, but I'm looking to start that up soon, and all of that. But just want to throw that out there. But yeah, so if you want to support the channel, there's lots of ways to do it. And even if you don't have money to support the channel with, always your comments and your likes, and if you want to share the videos that you're enjoying or things like that, comments mean as much to me as almost anything. I love, you know, that you guys are engaged enough with the series series that you're, you know, leaving comments and stuff like that. Because honestly, for me, why I do this, I don't do it for the money. You know, those monetary donations are extremely generous and very nice, and I use them to help support the channel. You know, things like, you know, oh, we need a capture card or a laptop, or want to get this new game, or even things like packs. You know, some of, you know, because we didn't raise enough for a laptop or something, some of that money might be going towards some packs money, sort of things. I don't know. You know, all the money you donate, besides, like, obviously with the fundraising stream, 25% of all those donations went to Compassion International, which we talked about last episode. Yes, last episode. And so, you know, but, you know, otherwise, that's all going to go towards the channel in some form or another. I'm not just pocketing that and, you know, going and buying dinner or something like that. Although, I mean, if I guess I was like starving, I might use some of that money to buy food. But we're not there. We're not there. So it's all going to support the channel that you guys love, and the Tortoise that you guys love, and all that. So yeah. But if you can't, again, comments and likes and all that kind of stuff, because while, you know, those monetary donations are great, the community interaction and getting to talk with you guys in the comments and things like that, seeing that you guys are supporting series, is really why we do this. And speaking of supporting series, real quick before we sign off, I'd love for you guys to do me a solid and go ahead and watch the Jak and Daxter series. At least these first couple of episodes, give it a shot. I don't know, yeah, I shouldn't say watch the series. I want you to give that series a shot. The Jak and Daxter series is an old PS2 platformer. It was one of my... there are 3 games that are my absolute favorites, that if I could never play another game again, I could very happily just replay those 3 game series for the end, till the end of time. And that is the Jak and Daxter series, which is an old style colorful PS2 platformer. It's going to be a lot of fun to play through, and I just started that one on this channel. The others are Pokemon and Mass Effect. Those 3 game series are my absolute favorites, and if I could never play another game again, those would be it. And I think we got like 20-some views on that first episode, which I know viewership is kind of fickle in that respect, and I get that. We've talked about this before. I get that. But if you guys could find it in your hearts to even just give that series a chance, you don't have to love it, you don't have to watch it all the way through, but if you would at least open your hearts enough to watch that series, because it's one of my absolute favorites, and I'd hate for it to be the least viewed series on the channel. So if you guys could find it in your hearts to do that, I would appreciate it. If not, I understand people are busy, and you're like, you know what, I honestly don't have time to watch any more than I'm already watching. I'm sorry, but that, I mean, so that's fine, but just, you know, putting that out there. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for you know, the support that you give in the channel through your likes and comments, and for those of you guys who have donated, I appreciate that greatly as well. Yeah, so had a fun time at PAX. Check out those vlogs if you guys haven't seen them already, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.